So Joe Woods and Paul Goodison, congratulations on a regatta win here in Porto Cervo. Not the circumstances perhaps that you would have liked. A big crash for you yesterday and some redress involved, but let's just start off by talking about the regatta a little bit. You guys have been away from the European scene for a couple of regattas, but you've come back strong. How did it feel, Joe, for you?
That was great. It was good to be back onto the pace that we've traditionally had. We had a bad one in Naples, but we had changed the team dramatically at that particular point. Not through choice, but just certain people weren't available. So it was great to get back on and pick up and be right on the pace.
So Porto Cervo, you know, traditionally people think of it as a very windy event. Our experience is that you get a mixture, and that's certainly what we got this week. Do you have a favoured condition?
I think traditionally we've always favoured the heavier breezes anyway, so it was particularly good that in the light days, particularly the first day, we actually performed really well with a 1, 3 and 5, I believe. So that was really good.
So consistency obviously is the thing in this fleet, and as helmsman and tactician you guys work very closely together. Can you kind of talk us through what sort of conversations you're having on board the boat? Goody, perhaps you can pick up on that.
Yeah, no, I think a lot of it is about communication. Obviously you don't want to give Joe too much information because he's got to concentrate and steer the boat, so within the crew we work quite well and have well-defined roles of who's talking to who, so there's not too many voices going straight at Joe. I think we leave most of it upwind to Dave and most of it downwind to Shane, and I tend to keep my mouth shut most of the time and just say stuff when it's needed, but it seems to work pretty well, and quite impressed with how quick we got back into it this week as a team, having not sailed together for quite a while.
So Dave and Shane that you mentioned there are the two trimmers on the boat. Joe, are you listening to them most of the time and letting Goody get on with the tactics?
Yeah, pretty much all the time. So upwind it would be Dave talking away with me, excuse me, and downwind I'll be working very closely with Shane and pretty well ignoring everything else that's going on around.
Ideally Joe doesn't know how we've got on until we cross the finish line.
Yeah.
If I turn around I get told off.
So Joe, you've been in this class for quite a while now and you've assembled obviously a very strong team. Can you tell us a bit about, you know, what's involved in doing that? You know, how difficult is it to be successful in this class?
I think an awful lot of it is to be consistent. So if you can keep the nucleus of the team together, and we have managed to be reasonably successful in doing that since we first started in the class in 2005, and we've managed to keep the nucleus together over that period of time, both when we race in Europe and race in America.
So how much of the chat on board from the professionals is about, you know, coaching you, Joe, as a helmsman?
Very little of it, really. I get the odd bit of feedback, but we tend to do quite a bit of training. So we traditionally would turn up to an event usually a couple of days or 3 days ahead, or if it's a really big event, quite considerably more than that. And we do quite a bit of 2-boat, 3-boat training. So that's when all that sort of input will be coming into it.
As soon as we start racing, it's very little sort of coaching input. We are just trying to get on and sail as we've done in the practice, and we just try and focus on that. I think trying anything more than that's a bit of a distraction. Just really trying to phase your training and your racing, so it's two separate things.
And this week you've had Joe Glanfield coaching you before the regatta and obviously out there observing things. How's that helped?
Oh, Joe's been fantastic. He's not done much. Melges 32, but his CV pretty much speaks for himself. He is a pretty amazing sailor and a pretty amazing coach. So he's helped us with a few things this week, and he'll be sliding into the tactician's role for the next event in Garda. So it's quite a nice way to integrate it in, to get to know the team and to work with the team, and then hopefully he'll be coming on and working with us at the Worlds as well.
So what sort of discussions do you have with Joe? What does he talk about after perhaps a training session?
It's more to do with kind of rig setups and things he's noticing and things that maybe we can make gains in, and just kind of just settling the boat, making sure we're all happy and within our own roles. And I think it's worked pretty well this week. And
you use video a lot in that sort of analysis?
We did the first couple of days, but since then it was more just opening the discussion and discussing as a team. We probably didn't use that much video input the last couple of days.
So
lots to watch when we go home.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's no shortage of stuff to analyse. So Joe, just kind of zoning in on you as an owner, you've been in this class for a long time. What is it that attracts you to it? What is it that keeps you in the fleet?
Well, I love the, as you know, I've been in Melges 24 sailor. I did that for about 8 years. And I was looking to move to what might be described as a boat that would be owner-driver, so that I could get in there and do it. The Melges 24 fleet is top 20 is probably highly professional and professional helmsmen, so I would rather have an owner-driver boat. So that was one of the fundamental reasons, and also you could describe it as a more stable platform. But I'm not getting any younger.
So if you were talking to a potential owner who's looking at this class, looking at this video and seeing some of the action on the water from Porto Cervo and the other regattas, what would you say to them in terms of encouragement?
Well, if you're keen on one design racing, if you're keen on racing against some of the best people around, then it would be the boat for you. But it's a pretty physical boat, and it's very, very close racing. And I think what you do have to recognise that if you want to perform at the top end, okay, you're going to have to put some commitment, time and effort into it. You can't just rock up and do a day or two, and you've really got to put some commitment into it. And I think all the top guys here do that.
Great. Well, gentlemen, congratulations again on your win here in Porto Cervo. Very well deserved, and enjoy the prize giving, and thanks for talking to us.
Thank you.